basically my background was like, I just wanted to network and meet a lot of folks, and then I figured,
for sure,
if I started this website, which is called Shop4aBiz.com, that it's basically a business directory that's free. I can approach business owners and network with them, get them like have a listing on my website,
right,
and promote it. And that way, I'm meeting more folks for my travel agency. So that's how this started, and then podcasting to me it's like the next blog, everything everyone's saying podcasting is the way to go now. So I started Googling podcasts in the area, and your name popped up plenty of times.
That means it's working. That means we're doing our job, which is good.
Yep. So I said, I got to meet this guy. And then after I bought the L8, the Zoom L8. And I'm learning it, and it's
if you ever want to bring it in, if you have questions about it, let me know.
Okay. Cool. Awesome.
This place is always open to you. We're 24/7 here. This is probably the closer location. We have one in Holmdel at Bellwitch as well. Which is cool.
This is closer to me, definitely. And then so I started like watching these videos, and then you're there popping up in the videos, like for like the training videos, example videos for Zoom. So you got a nice relationship with Zoom, which is awesome.
I do, yeah. So anytime we need gear or whatever, we get, and if you ever need gear going forward, we get a pretty healthy discount that we pass on to our clients. So
cool. Yeah. So then, I was like, let me reach out. I started looking at the booking information, and then I found out that I actually can get an interview with you. Said,
absolutely.
So cool.
Yep.
Like, all right, this is perfect.
It's part of the deal.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if you know anything about my personal background
with Kevin Smith.
Yeah, Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
The Comic Book Man TV show. I don't know if you know anything about that.
I never watched it, but I've always heard of it, and I pass by the store all the time.
We're affiliated with the store.
And Clerks, the old movies. I remember that, when it came out.
And Clerks 3. They'll start shooting soon in July, I'm hearing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool. So so I don't know. I just figured. It sounds like what you're doing too is you're meeting a lot of business owners, like local people, right? Like, are doing podcasts, coming here. And
when we started out, it was I started doing this because we just wanted to argue about movies. We're geeks, so if like a sci-fi or a superhero movie came out and it was good, of course we wanted to talk about it. Like, why? I was like, wow, that was all. That was awesome. That's what we would like to. We love to vent about it. And if it was bad though, we wanted to do it even more. We wanted to know why it went wrong and why we were so angry, and it became almost like free therapy, where we felt better after we argued about the last, like, Justice League was not good, and we were all that we were like, all that time, all that money. How could they screw it up this bad, blah blah blah. So our original intent was to open this up. We knew there were a lot of geeks in the area that would maybe start podcasts and do the same things we were. But as we went along, I was like, wow, why don't we start catering to small businesses too? There are a lot of example podcasts out there, like how I built this or things like that. Joe Rogan has been very good for our business. Everyone wants to be the next Joe Rogan.
Definitely.
Where they were like, hey, they're like, Joe Rogan, I could do that. I can sit here and interview people. And it really catered, it really spoke to the entrepreneurs in the area, where it's like, hey, I have a small business. This is a great way to network. This is a great way to find out other people's stories, where they succeeded, but definitely where they failed, and then they succeeded. It's very inspirational. So, that was a side effect. I was not banking on meeting so many cool people, and definitely if you meet a small business owner, like, you don't start a small business just to casually run it. You don't start a small business because because you kind of casually like something. You got to have a lot of passion for it. So you pour yourself in that small business, and then we find that a lot of those people, they love talking about the process, passing on their knowledge, inspiring other people. So it became really cool.
Yeah, I love learning more about the whole marketing of a business. You do all the social media channels. You do the Facebook ads, but then do you do a blog? Do you do a YouTube channel? Do you do a podcast?
Right.
Now, and all that kind of stuff. And so to me, it's like, it's fun, it's entertaining, because I don't know if I mentioned, I think I did a minute ago, that I did electronic music. I used to like produce music, and I have a lot of songs like on iTunes and all that stuff. So I always knew the whole, 4-track mixer environment, home studio environment. So dealing with a mixer is not alien to me. Learning the whole Zoom L8 is fun. It's cool. It's a little different, but it's the mix minus I love.
Oh yeah, it's great. And the thing that sold me was like, built-in recorder. Like I don't have to hook it up to an external recorder, which I do anyways as a backup. I hook it up to a computer, record sound through USB. Yeah, it's just for something like this, it's been great. So, and the other part where we started this was we're at a bar. Start getting these interesting conversations like, why aren't we recording this? Surely someone else would think this was either entertaining or funny or neither, because we're at a bar and we all think we're comedians at that point. We think our stories are awesome, but who cares? To me, it never made any sense to have this great conversation and just goes out into the ether, never to be heard from again. So.
It's like documenting.
That was a lot of motivation.
It's almost like a diary, audio diary of your life.
Yeah, for sure. And so I took that to the next step. I not that long ago, I sat my mom and dad down, podcasted with them, got their whole story, got their history, learned a lot, and now I have an audio history of that where I can listen to it, because they won't be around forever. So my ancestors, it's
cool.
It's pretty cool snapshot of and then I remember my mom sat down. I was like, Mom, will you podcast with me? She's like, oh, I'm not dressed for it. I don't have any makeup on. I'm like, Mom, I'm not, we can roll videos. I'm not rolling video. We're just talking. She's like, okay. So made her feel a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, I think that probably it's a different feel, because I've been approaching folks that I know, like from my business director.
Yeah.
And I said, look, it's just a phone call. I could not record your phone call in the beginning. And then when you're ready, when you're comfortable, you say when, I'll hit record. And I'll just start recording our phone call. And, basically, we go to so many business meetings that we do these elevator pitches.
Yep.
You stand up in front of the whole room and you give your 60 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
I said, think of this as you giving your elevator pitch like you do in our meetings, but you have no time limit.
Yeah.
You can just keep, sometimes people like to ramble on and then they get cut off. Well, here you can ramble on.
I love this longer format. There's no rules. So if you want to go 20 minutes, you go 20 minutes. You can go, 2 hours, you can go 2 hours. But
it's interesting. The episodes that I've done so far, because this is new to me, have been like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And really short. And I'm like, oh, this is like really short compared to like most podcasts. So I'm just doing it and I'm learning. Short
is good. Okay. They're easily consumable, digestible. So, and then, even like a 5-minute one, if you have enough, those you could literally put out every day if you wanted to, or on a more, or once a week. We always say when you come in here, just speak freely. There are no rules. If you put your foot in your mouth, you got to get it out yourself. But
we can always edit it.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. I'm like, hey, this is edited. While we do stream live in here, we're like, come in, speak freely, vent. If you say something that might get you in trouble, just cut it out like it never happened. But the important thing is to be free. Be true to yourself that day. And speak your mind for sure. So to me, this is one of the kind of like one last, maybe only, like truly free formats out there in terms of freedom of speech. So yeah.
So I see you guys do the Homedale Chamber of Commerce.
We do, They do a live stream once a month. They put together a panel. They saw me doing it on the outdoor deck at Bellworks one day, and they're like, "Hey, can we get on this? Like, will you come to our chamber meetings and live stream it as well?" I guess they saw me hustling and running around, I guess. They're like, "Hey, you look like you know what you're doing. You look like you're very dedicated." I'm like, yeah, sure. Give me some, let me know when, let me know where. And that's when we started doing that.
It's an awesome facility over there.
At Bellworks?
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah, I had a meeting. I went there once for a meeting and I was just like impressed.
Yeah.
I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, I went there kind of when they were getting things launched in 2017. Was blown away with what it was, but more blown away by where it was going. Yeah. It wasn't quite what it was then, what it is now. And so I've been trying to get in there for a couple of years, and had an opportunity to get in there. So we've been there a little over 6 months now.
So you're in the Bellworks?
Yep.
Then.
Yeah. We have a separate studio in there.
Okay. Yeah. You mentioned home. I didn't realize that's where it was.
Yeah. So cool. If you walk by and you look in a window and you see a Stormtrooper helmet, a Baby Yoda, and an Iron Man helmet. Yeah, that's us. And a picture of Stan Lee. Yeah, that's us. Cool.
Yeah, you could have some serious social distancing in that place. The ceilings are so damn tall, and that when you walk into there, it's like the cavernous feeling of the whole facility itself is amazing.
Yeah, and it's not even a ceiling. If you look up, it's technically a skylight. The whole ceiling's a skylight.
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Cool. I gotta stop by over there one of these days then.
Oh yeah, anytime. Anytime. Yeah, you're welcome. Actually, after this, I'm heading there over now. Got a whole night of podcasting over there as well. So we're going about 6:30 to 10:30 there tonight. So should be fun. Always fun. Cool. And they have pizza there. So
all right.
Yeah. And a bar. And pizza and a bar.
They have a bar in there? Really?
They have a bar in there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's when you have a business such as this, that it helps sell it for sure. It's like, hey, stop by, have a pizza, grab a drink beforehand, and then come over and podcast, or go get pizza and glass of wine after, or even during. They'll bring it over. You can bring it over. So
no rules.
Yeah, it's pretty great. It's pretty great to have that available.
Yeah. So I mean, I was just thinking, I just wanted to get to know you a little bit more and more about this operation here.
Please ask anything.
And in a way, we're kind of promoting each other. Like I could help, tell people about you guys. And, and I just want to use this episode and boost it and get it out on Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff, just to let people know about my podcast. But hey, the type of people I can interview.
Yeah, and that's something you get from us as well. We love promoting. We love promoting fellow podcasters. Definitely our clients first and foremost, but. Part of the reason I started this was we didn't know any other podcasters in the area. I think we knew of one, and I was like, surely there's got to be other podcasters here, and that's part of why the business is called A Shared Universe.
Yeah.
The meaning behind that is twofold. Number one, we love comic books, and in the comics, sometimes Spider-Man will go fight crime in Metropolis with Superman, or sometimes the villains will join forces. Or even, you just get Captain America teaming up with Iron Man. That's a shared universe as well. And we always loved that. We always thought that was cool when there were crossovers or shared universes in the comic books. But, secondfold, you might get a podcast about, real estate law. And there might be a real estate lawyer and a mortgage guy. And, they'll be in the lobby. It's like, hey, what do you do? It's like, hey, you should be on my podcast. Okay, what I'll do if you come on mine. Or you get health and fitness people and crossing over the mental health, and nothing makes me happier than that. So to us, this is like the gathering place, the headquarters of podcasting, and anybody can come here and share what they do.
Cool. Yeah. Let me see if I didn't write down a whole list. No,
absolutely. You can ask anything for sure.
Yeah, I just wanted it to become natural. And to get more of a conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've been here for a little over 3 years. Started on New Year's Day 2018.
Were you guys on Asbury Park, the boardwalk too?
We were. So
for summer or something?
Yeah, right before the pandemic, I noticed I was helping out Madison Marquette, who is a real estate agent. They run the whole boardwalk. They'd been thinking about starting a podcast promoting the boardwalk, some of the live bands coming in, some of the charitable work they were doing, a lot of things, and took a meeting with them, and we did a little tour of the facilities, and they mentioned they point over to a vacant storefront they had there. They're like, hey, we ever need a quick place to record, we could use this. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Wow. And went about the tour. The next morning I woke up and I was like, hey, if that place is vacant, I wonder if they would let us put up a pop-up in there. At the time it was January, it was December, January. And they kind of mentioned like, hey, nothing goes on here until May when the summer crowd moves in. Yeah. So I was like, hey, it could be a long shot, but I put together a little proposal. I was like, hey, any chance we could put up a pop-up studio in there? We could use it for the podcast that you wanted, but we could also help promote like the Wooden Walls project or anything else going on. And almost immediate. Actually, it wasn't immediate. I didn't hear from them for 3 weeks, so I was like, okay, I guess it's a no. But it was over Christmas break. After that was over, I got an email back. They were like, that sounds like a great idea. Let's talk about it. And they were very open-minded, very immediately. It was almost like we had the meeting. They were like, all right, well, here are the keys. Yeah. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? What's going on here? They're like, it's yours for the next 3 months till the summer crowd moves in.
Oh, okay.
And
you know, I'm over on the boardwalk all the time, so I do remember seeing you set up there.
Yeah, and to me, I was like, what's what's better than podcasting? Podcasting by the Asbury Park on the boardwalk by the Atlantic Ocean. Yeah, it was cool. So we did a lot of things inside, but when it got warmer, we moved outside, set up a table. Yeah, it was a really ideal location. And yeah, as much as I would have loved to have been there full time, you know, I was very grateful for the time we had there. So for us, the location wise, it was great because everyone's like, oh, the boardwalk. Yeah, I want to come see that. I want to podcast there. But for marketing, it was priceless.
Okay.
It was priceless.
It helped get the word out.
Yeah, I don't think anybody else in the world had a podcast studio on a boardwalk by the ocean. So even though we knew we had it for a short time, it was a pop-up technically. Yeah. I marketed the hell out of that for sure. So
yeah, they've had some pop-ups there, like those other shops and stuff like that, which is always cool.
Yeah.
And that's like a New York thing. You see that in Manhattan stuff, pop-ups. So people kind of like understand that, and it's like, all right, so take advantage of it while it's here.
Yeah, and for us, we're like, listen, we're not a complicated operation. Table, recorder, microphones, chairs, at the very basic. And I was like, listen, we can be set up in one day, we can break down and be out of there in one day. And so I think that really helped us out. But in the end, everything I do is for fun, and that you can't get more fun than podcasting by the ocean. Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like, I really like what they're doing, like Madison Marquette with the boardwalk.
Yeah,
like that. It's really interesting and exciting, and that's what I mentioned, like in my podcast of, like, when I was living in Asbury Park, is like just the energy of being around so many, like, these restaurants that just, these young people opening up businesses. Everybody's like a small startup. Everyone's like this independent business owner, and they're all supporting each other.
Yeah.
There's stores like Interwoven, which I love on.
Oh yeah, good. Big shout out to Bianca Frida for sure.
Yeah, great.
Big shout
people.
out.
And then I go into like Tallulah's. I love Tallulah's.
Oh yeah, big shout out to Shanti and them over
Steve.
there. Yeah, Shanti and Steve for sure.
They opened up another place, like in another town.
It's in Aberdeen. It's inside of the Alternate Ending Brewing, Alternate Ending Beer Company, and it's cool. I talked to Steve over there. We've done a lot of live streams over there.
Okay.
Interviewed them, and I love that location as well. They're like in the Aberdeen location. We can do things there that maybe what is different than the one in Asbury Park. So they do the thicker Detroit style pies. Over
I haven't been to it yet.
In Aberdeen.
I heard they opened it up.
Anytime you want to go, I will meet you over there. Their food is amazing. I don't know if you drink beer, but the beer is fantastic.
And they're really great people. They're nice.
They really
people.
are. Yeah. I love Asbury. I worked in Red Bank for years for Kevin Smith. People are like, where do you hang out in this town? I was like, well, I don't. I hang out in Asbury Park. I work in Red Bank. Maybe I have lunch there, but when I'm done, I go right to Asbury. I hang out with my friends there for sure.
You got like Rayla's is really great.
Yeah.
And Cafe Volant.
Yep.
Those guys are cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was like every morning I would wake up and have my coffee at Cafe Volant. That was my first stop.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wouldn't go there every day. I didn't live there, but the times I would go down, I'd run into my friends there. Jen Hampton or my friend Serena over there, or just multiple people. Yeah, it's really great down there.
So yeah, I mean, I guess my next move would probably be like, I'm going to start reaching out to some of these people over there and just try to get them on my podcast as well. Like I said, it's more just like cross promoting everybody.
Yeah, and what I found is back before podcasts, if you wanted to meet business owner, somebody in your field, I guess you would just call them up, right? And like, hey, I'd love to meet you, talk to you. Can we have lunch or whatever? And a lot of times I think they would get suspicious, right? They're like, oh, you're trying to poach my clients, or who is this guy? I don't know him. I'm not having lunch with this guy. I don't even know him. Now, if you call up, it's like, hey, I have a podcast. Would love to have you on. Almost 100% of the time they say yes.
Yeah, because you're offering something too.
Yeah, they get to promote themselves, but podcasting is cool too. And I love it as a form of networking for sure. I didn't even think about that when I started this place. I just wanted to talk to people. But a lot of times I have people, they bring in guests that they haven't met before. By the end of the podcast, they're friends, they're collaborators. I see it all the time, which I love. Like, I love the whole networking process personally, but to help people facilitate that makes me even happier.
Yeah, that goes really deep with like the travel agency, because nowadays anyone can go on Expedia, Travelocity, Kayak. Like, why use you? You know? And that's why I started networking. I build relationships with folks. I actually get to learn their business. I bring them clients, or I become a client of their business. And then the idea is that they hopefully would use me as well eventually.
That's awesome. I'm hoping to take advantage of your services. I travel a lot. I was on a TV show based around the world of comic books called Comic Book Men. The best thing that came out of that, in my opinion, was all these Comic-Cons now.
Yeah.
They'll invite me as a guest to the convention. So yeah, they'll fly me out, they'll put me up. I get to hang out at a Comic-Con all weekend, and almost every time I'll stay an extra couple days, explore whatever town I'm in, and just my goal is to just get down, find out what the locals do, find out where they eat, what dive bars they go to, what they do, what they do after they're not working. Where the after hours places are, where the maybe locals only places are, and just become friends with them.
That's the way to go.
Yeah, and I feel it's so it's to me it's fulfilling. To me this is what like life and people are all about, is just.
Yeah, and you get to see the rest of the country. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of this country. I mean, I think I've been out of the country more than I actually seen within this country.
Wow, you're lucky. A lot of my stuff is just domestic, which I love, because I live in the U.S., so obviously I want to learn about all the parts of the country that I know and love. But international is so different that the few times I get to go out, it's really eye-opening and really fun and different. So
and it's about meeting people.
Yeah.
That's what you do,
In the end,
airport, or I mean, as soon as they find out you're not from there, it's like people are a lot more friendly.
Yeah, for sure.
Like less guarded, and just start conversations, and you learn.
So I think my goal in life is to become friends with every dive bar owner in the country. Starting to get there. Starting to get there. Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been to like New Mexico, Albuquerque.
Albuquerque is a great town.
Yeah.
I
haven't been to like the Grand Canyon, for example, like some of these national parks I want to check out.
I've stopped by on a road trip. I would love to spend maybe 3 days in the Grand Canyon. Find out how, of course, see the Grand Canyon, do the donkeys up and down or whatever.
Utah.
Yeah, but I'm sure there are people who work there there's probably a bar somewhere.
Yeah.
They'll go hang out or hold them a restaurant they'll go eat at when they're not, with tourists and stuff. That's what I would like to see. Yeah. And Albuquerque is one of my favorite towns. I'm going there in 5 weeks for Comic-Con. I've been there, I think, 4 times, usually in January. And I made some great friends. I think on the surface, people see Albuquerque as like, oh, this is Breaking Bad. Right. So they go on the Breaking Bad tour. And I don't really think they stop and explore Albuquerque that much. But some of my favorite places, there's an old school steak restaurant. You have to walk through a liquor store to get there, called the Monte Carlo. One of my favorite places. There's a place called the Frontier Restaurant that's been there forever, with, in my opinion, the best green chili stew covered breakfast burrito out there. And there are a lot of hidden bars. There's a private club that I somehow became a member of. It's a great place.
That's what now that you mention that, that's that whole idea of like the speakeasy that you have those Manhattan, like you walk in the front and it's like
it's a donut
thrift
shop.
a donut shop. I just saw that on Pix 11. They just had a show. There was a donut shop, and then when you walk in the back, it's a speakeasy, and it's like, who knew? Like, who know? And you don't know unless you're looking for it, unless you know it.
I actively look for places like that, and if I can't find them, I'll start asking around. I'm like, hey, where's the hidden bar in
you
this
don't
town?
see too many of those in New Jersey, I think, though, right?
No, there's actually one in Asbury. I don't know if you've been to the one Lalo. Yeah, the problem with Lalo is they told everyone about it. So there's a line, you got to wait in line to get in, even before the pandemic. They're like, how many? It's like, oh, all right, hold on, there's a 30-minute wait. I'm like, what do you mean? It's a speakeasy, right?
No one's supposed to know.
Yeah, they're getting there. There was another one run by the bartender of Tallulah's, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And it was located in the building formerly known as the Bank. There's a restaurant called the Bank. Not in business anymore, but there's a speakeasy underneath there.
I think that's an amazing building. I don't understand why it's always empty.
I'm sure the rent is astronomical, and I'm sure to run it is it's too big. It's too big.
I was living there for about 5 years, and I think it went over like 3 times. To different.
Training in the Pope, and then the Bank, and several things. So people just want a little space like the Bond Street Bar. Just that's all you need.
It takes us around forever.
Yeah, for sure. But which is a great thing, even in your own place. So many undiscovered things, and I'm trying to get there. But a lot of things you got to start talking to people, and
get out there more and stuff. Well, I mean, now that things are clearing up too, with the whole pandemic and stuff, people are feeling a lot more comfortable, so they are going out and meeting folks more and stuff.
That's cool. What got you into writing a whole travel journal? Because
this is actually it's an empty. See how it is? It's just you know how you go to like Barnes and Noble,
Yeah.
you have these journals.
Yep.
So I started doing it. I actually publish a whole. I have like about 50 different themes. There's one for comic books that I'm going to send you. By the way.
wow, okay, for
'Cause
sure.
I definitely thought about it. I did it for a friend of mine who's a collector of comics, and now that I met you, I gotta send it to you.
Oh, yeah.
It's basically print on demand through Amazon.
Yeah, that's cool.
And, but you know, it has like all my information in the beginning.
Yeah.
In the beginning, and at the end, has my email, my website.
That's awesome. I never thought the way I journal, I travels is I check in on Facebook, and post a photo on Instagram, and I have my own personal photo library on my phone.
Yeah.
But I think this is better because I was like, man, where did I go in Albuquerque when I was there last year? What did I do on that Saturday night? And I'll go back to my photo library.
Just try to remember the name of the place.
Yeah. But if I didn't take a photo of it, I'll forget about it. I think that actually you write it down, I think in your brain, it's more of an experience. So that's cool, man.
Yeah, it's another marketing avenue for myself.
Yeah.
You know, like I said before, I love like the whole idea of just trying to market my business, and that's how I got into the whole podcast.
Yeah.
Too. So I'm also doing like these travel journals, and what I do is I send these to clients.
Oh, that's cool.
Like anyone who has booked with me, I'll send them, just to keep on top of mind.
Yeah.
So they don't forget about me. And most of the times they're business owners. So business owners are constantly writing down contacts, appointments, this and that. So that's why it's better if it's empty.
Right.
So,
and
might do a photo journal maybe.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool if there was some way to get some photos in there. Yeah. I wish you could hit a button on your phone and like a photo, like a tangible photo would pop out. Yeah. That's cool. You mentioned, of course, people, if they want to book a trip, they just go on Travelocity, Expedia. So what is running a travel agency in the year 2021? What is that like? What does that entail?
It's challenging because you assume that your clients are doing the research as well, which is great. So I always say I'm like an extra pair of eyes and ears for you, like especially if you're busy.
Right.
Like I have these clients, they're both married, have a kid, they're both working, they have like a nanny, and it's like they don't have enough time like to actually start doing all this researching to plan their summer vacation. So they'll turn to me and I'll do some research for them, and then like if they get some time at work, they might go online and do some competitive research to see, well, Dan, how about this other place? I think it may be cheaper. So there's like, so I'm basically a researcher, and then if there's problems, I could be on the phone with the cruise line, or I could be on the phone with the hotel, and they put you on hold for like an hour, and I'll be that guy waiting to finally speak to the business, the entity, while my client doesn't have to worry about that. They just go about their careers or their business and stuff like that. So it's kind of like that concierge type service that I provide. So I put it in that way, and it's also again going back to the networking. A lot of these people are business owners, so I network with them, and like they have to stand out in a way themselves. So some of them join networking groups too. So going back to that, it's networking is very key for me.
Oh yeah.
But going back to the whole travel industry though, it's like I have a ton of partners that I could book with through. It's called Cruise Planners. They've been in business for 20 years. It's a franchise. And I have about like 150 partners that I could book with, and they have all these search engines. Yeah. So if I can't find what they're looking for in this certain search engine, I'll try this other one. Right. And these are proprietary to just travel agents. Yep. And in that respect, I could find these little villas or like townhouses that they want to rent that aren't available because they didn't want to do a hotel, for example. They just want to do a home. I could do that as well. And there's discounts and stuff like that because we are part of a large group. There's like 2,000 cruise planners in the country. Yeah. Our whole we could work with anyone nationwide, but we really don't book like outside. Like I can't have like a French client, or German client. Like
so they have to live in
America.
Okay.
Yeah, like their mailing address and all that.
Yeah.
American.
That's cool. I think travel right now in 2021 is way more fun than say 20 years ago. With the advent of like Airbnb, with the advent of Uber and Lyft, with things, I think it's made things a lot easier. And
the first time I traveled, when I went away, I went to Europe with a buddy of mine out of college. Yeah. We had this big book called Let's Go to Europe. Have you seen that? It's like, go to Barnes & Noble, they probably still sell it. It's like this thick, and it has all these pensions, all these like, what do you call them? Hostels. Yes. And stuff like that. And it was all on paper and stuff like that, which is cool. Yeah. And I'm old school, so I can get into that. But now everything's more like with your apps. Yep. Yeah. Online and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's all in your pocket.
Yeah. Yeah. But travel agent, someone you can just call and that person will do a lot of stuff for you too.
Yeah.
I get text messages.
Yeah, what I love, if I can't help it, like I'm not staying at a hotel. I'd rather stay at somebody's house or get a whole apartment somewhere for usually the same price. So that, and then it's great. You don't have to worry about driving, renting a car. You can literally have somebody drive you to wherever you want to go and find your way back.
Yeah, we did that in Manhattan. A friend of mine had a birthday party, and it was for her husband. So they Airbnb this like big apartment, and it was like about 8 of us, and we all stayed in it. And it was like and it was like being in a home, it's like you're not really dealing with the hotel environment. So that was very comfortable. That was cool. Yeah,
I mean, I love my hotels, or especially a great boutique hotel or in somewhere, but but then they pile on taxes and all that. Yeah, it's a pain in the butt. Yeah, check out at a certain hour.
Yeah.
Or it's just
that's true. A lot of Airbnb's a little more relaxed, I think. Yeah, just drop the keys in the mailbox.
Yeah. So if I were to, I guess as a travel agent, I'm sure a lot of people ask you like, oh, what's your favorite city? Which I won't. I'll expand that to. If I asked you, say your top 3 cities in the world to visit, to travel to, could you pull them off the top of your head?
Barcelona's number 1.
Okay, never been there.
Amazing city, and then I would say like New York would be like number 2, even though we live right here.
Yeah, I think we're spoiled. We can theoretically go up there anytime we want.
Yeah, and I don't take it for granted. When I'm in New York, I'm like, this people around the entire world want to come here, and I see why. I understand why. I feel it. So that's top 2. 3, oh boy, I don't know.
I know it's tough, right? I've never been to Barcelona, so I may have to take you up on your services there. And
oh, it's amazing. It's like Barcelona to me. I could tell you, it's like the South Street Seaport of Manhattan.
Okay.
It's like Gothic cathedrals and cobblestone medieval feelings of, I don't know, any medieval town that you can think of with that Gothic architecture.
Right.
And then also has like a modern city feel too, like Manhattan. So there's a whole section where the Gaudi is an architect. He does like these houses and these cathedrals as well, but these buildings that have no straight lines. Everything's like curved and like all the windows. And everything. So he was like in the early 1920s or something like that. His work was. So there's parts of the city that have a bunch of buildings designed by him.
That's awesome.
So you have that modern architecture, and then you have like these little tiny alleyways where you could feel like people are going to come out and do jousting and sword fighting. Yeah. Right. And then you're like in the South Street Seaport, like the beach, and you have the W Hotel right there on the beach, and it's free.
Yeah.
You gotta go. I advise.
Okay.
So go check it
and
out. I'm sure they have conventions there too, man.
I'm gonna look, because sometimes if there's a city I want to travel to. I'll go find out if they have a Comic-Con there.
Yeah.
I'll send
They have
them.
a lot of like music conventions there.
Yeah,
so
and I'll pitch them like, hey, I was on the show, Kevin. Like, I'll throw out whatever I have to see if they'll invite me out, and a lot of times it works. Not 100% of the time, but if you don't ask, you'll never know. So, is there a city that you haven't been to yet that?
Well, I haven't been to New Orleans, like you just.
Oh man,
it's like and I heard you could do it in a few days. You don't have to be there too long, right?
You can. I was there for 41 hours, and I hit a lot. Not everything I wanted to, but once I put together the list and what I checked off, I was like, wow, I actually got a lot done. I think New Orleans, I would love to have like 3 full days. I think I think I could get everything done, and one of those is just kind of just going around and not even.
Nothing
checking
planned.
things off, nothing planned. Go, just go walk around and see where life takes you. That's one of the days.
Yeah. That's why I feel like that town is like, definitely. That's how I would do it too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't plan too many tours or anything like that.
Yeah.
Maybe 1 or 2 just for the heck of it, but
right.
If time allows.
Yeah, but the food alone.
Yeah, and the music, right?
The music, is worth it. But I'm a foodie. I love food, and I ate my face off there for sure. I think I'm still full. So.
Jambalaya.
Yeah, gumbo, Cajun food, some of the best fried chicken I've ever had. Beignets, of course, chicory coffee, and then and if you like alcohol, well, they got a little bit of that too. So.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah, just a little bit.
What else? Let me see.
That's cool. I mean, New Orleans should be definitely on your list for sure. And you can go alone, you can bring somebody. Either way, you can explore for sure. Yeah. For sure. And I've fortunately I've been there. I think I want to say this was my 5th time, if my count is correct.
Okay.
And even
doesn't fail you.
No, never. Always magic. But I remember even the first time I went there, I got an Airbnb, And this was back in the day before Instant Book. So when you got there, you had to call your host.
Yeah.
They had to come down and run keys down to you, kind of, give you the tour of their place,
Yep.
lay down the rules, check in, check out, all that. A lot of them would sit down and be like, hey, they'd give you a binder. It's like, hey, if you want to eat, these are the good places. If you want to have fun, these are the good places. I kind of miss those days because you really don't do that anymore. Now they give you a code and you type it in a lockbox and you're in. And I'm glad it was like that back then because the host I had for the place I stayed at in 2014, I still keep in touch with her. I'll even text her randomly, or sometimes if I'm there, she'll tell me where she's at. We'll go hang out sometimes. So so it's cool.
Relationship, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Again, it's all about meeting people, and cool. It was really cool. I got her story, she got my story. It's just really cool. It's like, hey, hope you're doing okay. Hope you're surviving all of this. How's the family? What are you up to? What are you doing tonight? Where should I eat? Is there any new places that opened up? Yeah,
she would know.
Yep, yeah. And it's it's great. So definitely, definitely part of travel is just meeting people, whether it be in a bar, at a restaurant, or whatever. And I think it happens every time I'm in New Orleans. So this time, we were at our Airbnb. I know we pulled up, unpacking. I noticed a building across the street. It says Happy Raptor on it. I'm like, that's a very unique name. Yeah. What's going on in there? We found out they're a rum distillery. So they were closed when we pulled up. It was about 5:30 in the afternoon. But I was like, all right, we definitely have to check this place out tomorrow morning. And so we were getting ready to go eat breakfast or something. Wandered over about 10:30. And the moment I stepped in, we could smell the rum coming out as we were going in. The bartender was like, hey, what's going on? The owner was in the back dehydrating bananas. And from that moment, I was like, oh, we're not leaving. Like this, we're in trouble. We haven't eaten yet.
Yeah.
And we're getting rum samples.
This is 10:30 in the morning, right?
10:30 in the morning. Yeah. The owner, he was dehydrating bananas for their Bananas Foster rum. Like I was like, oh, this is serious. They're not using like a syrup or a pre-made thing. Like he's dehydrating bananas to put in the rum, tank, rum vat or distiller or whatever the tank to or the still. I think is a rum still. I think it's called. And right from there we really didn't leave. Eventually we did go and eat lunch, but we came back and kept going.
That was right across the street from your place.
Right across the street from my place. So we met April, the bartender. We met Mark, the co-owner. Got their whole story. I actually had podcast gear on me, and we live streamed from the distillery.
Oh, nice.
I was like, well, I got my stuff here. I got to go run and get it. But we wanted to help promote their distillery, get their story. But for me, with what we do, I was like, why not?
Yeah. Why
not live stream from here, get the word out, and
that's the beauty of like the portability and like the battery operated stuff.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. And by the time we're at Fast Friends now, when I go back, that'll be one of my stops. Add it to the list. But I'll go back, see how they're doing, buy some rum, maybe hang out all day. Maybe who knows? But almost every time I meet someone different and become friends. So it's great.
Cool. Sounds really cool. Man.
Yeah, for sure.
So there was a comic book convention that you went to then?
So that Comic-Con was in Pensacola, Florida.
Oh, wait. Okay, so did you not go to that then?
I did. No, I went to the con. That was over the weekend.
And then you ended.
And I was like, well, New Orleans is only 3 hours away.
Okay.
I've been cooped up for 16 months, at times wishing that I was in New Orleans.
Right.
I gotta go. So luckily, I had a friend who lives in Biloxi, Mississippi. Runs a comic book shop there. We became friends 3 years ago. He was at the con vending, selling comic books and stuff. So he was like, wait, well, can you stay a couple extra days? We'll unload the stuff in Biloxi. We can hang out there, get some crawfish or, whatever. And then we can head over to New Orleans. And I'm like, what a great plan. What a great plan. So spent about 3 days in Pensacola for the convention. And Pensacola is a great town as well. Food, dive bars, friendly. A lot of people don't know that after New Orleans, they're kind of the second biggest Mardi Gras capital.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the world. They have the parade and the New Orleans architecture. Yeah, I don't know, for whatever reason, They're the kind of the second biggest Mardi Gras there. The convention is amazing. They run every year. It's one of the best in the world. And yeah, after that wrapped up, went to Biloxi, unloaded, hung out for a little bit, and then moved down to New Orleans.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I came home. So literally, yeah, I literally landed 24 hours ago. Yeah. So I think I think we're gonna be good friends because this is this is what I love to do. And the only thing I haven't done yet, which everyone's been telling me to do, is to write a book or a guidebook, or because once I find something cool, yeah, of course I want to spread it with other people. Yeah, as long as they don't keep me waiting in line the next time I go there. I was like, what's this line for? I was like, oh man, some idiot wrote a book, told everyone about this place. I was like, well, I was that idiot. Yeah, that's the only thing I'm afraid of.
And nowadays with technology, you could speak into a recorder and it could transcribe the book for you practically and do most of the work.
Good point. Yeah.
So it is easier these days, to be honestly.
Yeah, I just got to get off my butt and write this thing.
Or find a time. So many different.
Sure.
I'm sure you got things up in the air too. Because that's I did this and I did these journals because I had the time because I was home more because of everything that was going on. And then the idea of the podcast came up too. It's like, you do productive things because you still got to be in business. Like I'm still a travel agent, even though people weren't booking. Now I'm actually getting a little busy right now, which is really good. I'm doing a lot of honeymoons and all that stuff.
Cool.
People are just
great.
Trying to get more comfortable in traveling, obviously.
Yeah.
But that time that they weren't, I had to keep going. So I still attended my B&I meetings, my networking meetings, and I just tried to help the other business owners, and I tried to figure out other avenues of promoting myself, blogs and all that stuff.
That's great.
Just keep moving, that's what you got to do. And then, as things turn around, that infrastructure is there. I have these, like I said, I have like 50 odd journals that I can still sell, or I've been sending them to clients. So every day I'll wake up and I say, all right, I'm going to send this guy one. I'm going to send that guy one. Every day will be a different person. Yeah. And it's kind of just like it's a marketing program. It's an ongoing program.
For sure.
As opposed to just taking out ads.
Yeah. Oh, that's boring. Let's do that. You don't even know if people are looking at them. So, yeah, that's why I tell small businesses, like, listen, you can take out an ad in the paper. One, no one reads papers anymore. Two, they're expensive. Three, no one really sees those. So you can, I guess, take out a radio ad maybe. No one's listening to radio anymore. It's all podcasts now. Or God forbid, you could maybe put together a TV commercial, which is very expensive. No one's watching TV anymore. It's all Netflix and Hulu and Disney Plus. So, start a podcast, way cheaper, way more fun. You control every aspect, and you can definitely use it to market, on multiple channels, multiple avenues. Like, why aren't, and if we worry about all the technology and everything, you just sit down and talk. So that's why we started this.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. So welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome to Shared Yours, my friend.
Yeah, I appreciate the invitation.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I thought we were just going to do it on the phone, maybe just grab a quick interview.
Oh, yeah, but you were so close. I was like, no, come down. I prefer face-to-face for sure. Especially after this year, we were talking to each other in little boxes. No. Yeah. No.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome. All right, sir.
Yeah. Thanks for coming down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Thanks
fun.
For meeting me.
Yeah, of course. Oh, absolutely. Thanks.